I'm doing it because psychologically, okay, if I can do that, what else can I do in the business? Like, can I scale my business to another? Because we're going to overcome challenges in life and sales and ups and downs, and you're going to have a challenge. You're knocking on doors, and you're calling, you're dialing for dollars, and you're talking to clients, and you're going to face adversity and challenges. Psychologically, are you mentally tough? Because at the end of the day, being mentally tough is more than half the battle when it comes to sales. It's not just about having the sales skills. It's being mentally tough. That guy who can outlast storms and ups and downs in business, like you said, long term is going to compound those skills and results. And before you know it, the job becomes so much more easier for you.
Welcome, everybody, to the Win the Day podcast. We have a special guest. For those of you who don't know him, you're going to get to know him on a very personal level today. He's super successful in the insurance industry. He's got a fantastic story that he wants to tell you about. And so we're going to dive right into it. Chris Hart, welcome to the show.
Dave, how you doing, man? Happy to be here.
Fantastic. I'm very happy to hear from you and to have you on. It's really a pleasure. I've watched you from afar. I got to work with you very briefly, and I'm really impressed with what you've done. And I'm glad that the people watching are going to be able to hear about you and your successes up until this point in your career. So I'm going to dive right into it. For those of you, for those Chris Hart is, can you take a second to introduce yourself? Who is Chris Hart?
Absolutely. So Chris Hart, I'm originally from California, born and raised in Southern California. Grew up in a great environment, man. I always say I had two dads and a mom. Usually my mom and dad split, raised by a single mom. Now, my dad was in my life, my biological father. I had a stepdad at the age of 8 that raised me also. And so I was blessed with two dads and a mom, and not two dads in the same household. Not to be confused here, right? Two dads and a mom. But no, I grew up in Compton, California. Compton was inner city, Los Angeles County. Went to school. Always stayed out of trouble, man. Grew up in a neighborhood that was the best neighborhood. Compton is known for what it is. If you ever seen Boys in the Hood, you watch those things. NWA. I grew up in the thick of it, man. But you know what? You're in it, but you're focused on what you got to do. I'm playing sports, playing football, basketball, track. My mom and dad kept me on a straight arrow. I never really got in trouble or got involved in that stuff, man. So after high school, played some college ball for 2 years at the University of Southern Mississippi. Got homesick, things didn't work out well. Came back home, did 1 year at JUCO, and dropped out of college, and ended up just working, getting into the work field, the workforce. And so that's where I started my journey working at a company called Circuit City. If you're old school, if you're maybe a millennial or Gen X or older, you know Circuit City. If you're a Gen Z, probably never heard of new release Tuesdays, going up and line up for a CD release or a movie release. Now you just download it.
Way back then. The old days.
Way back. Right. And so worked at Circuit City, man. That's where I kind of cut my teeth in work, and I started working there, then journey from different company to company to landing in entrepreneurship. But yeah, now I'm living on the East Coast, and so love where I'm at now. Moved here in 2019. This is where the journey really started for me, where my business really took off.
It's amazing, similar parallels to how I grew up, but I think people can resonate with what you're saying. Compton, we hear about Compton a lot in music and movies, like you had alluded to. You were an athlete, so there was a lot, I guess, going on in your younger life that helped you to build up your mindset to get to a level that you're at today. But we're gonna fast forward really quickly from your early days to what you're doing today. So what's a bit of your background when it comes to business and sales? What is it that you do? How do you make a living? And what does a day in the life of Chris Hart look like?
Absolutely. So I run an FMO, financial marketing organization. So I work in the insurance space, specifically life insurance, life and health. And for me, day-to-day, man, is very unique because I'm the guy who wears all the hats. I always say, man, I use a lot of football analogies and sports analogies. I'm the star player in my team at times. I'm the head coach. I'm the GM. I'm front office executive, right? I'm the owner of my company, right? And so I scale and build insurance agencies. And so I have a team of agents across the country. I'm active writing business per month. We work with around 250 agents. And my job is to recruit, attract, and retain life insurance agents. And I represent companies like National Life Group, John Hancock, AIG, Allianz, And at the end of the day, insurance is not a very sexy industry. And so my job is to go out there and attract markets, attract Gen Zs, millennials, Gen Xers, different walks of life, and give them the skills to be give them the tools to be successful in the industry. At the end of the day, if I can build an agency, these companies will pay me a bonus in a sense for production and volume. And so we're working with insurance products, annuities, retirement accounts. You probably heard the term before, whole life, all that good stuff. I represent multiple carriers. I'm a broker, so I'm able to offer different products for clients based off their needs.
There's a lot of people that are, that watch both the video here on YouTube and the podcast, listen to it, that reach out and they're like, look, I want to get into sales, teachers, people that worked in the private sector, public sector, who want to get into sales. They know that there's money to be made out there, but they don't know how to get in, the entry point for sales, or they don't know, what it really takes to be successful in sales. I know you do this on a daily basis. What do you tell a person who is like, I have an idea, I'd like to dip my toe into that pool, but how do I get started?
First of all, I'll say sales is probably one of the best ways to build wealth, to generate income and revenue. Outside of owning your own business, getting an inheritance, right? Sales is how you can dictate your future, man. There's no cap to what I can make in sales. So anyone saying, hey, man, I want to make a lot of money, I want to increase my quality of life, sales is the best way to go, in my opinion, one of the best routes to take. But overall, sales takes time. Right? If I'm studying up someone getting into sales, maybe it's my first career, it could be a second career. I'm not expecting to get into sales and be making multiple six figures my first year. It's just not how it works. And no one goes to college year one and says, hey, after 1 year of college, I'm getting out as an engineer and making $100K a year. It's not happening. It's usually 4 years of education and learning skills to be able to go out there and do what you do, whether it's in tech or whether it's in other STEM industries, right? And so for me, sales is really the experience, man. I'm in sales now at a much higher level ticket item, but I started off selling TVs in Circuit City. I'm selling plasma televisions. I'm selling big screen TVs, the old CRT TVs back in 2005, 2006, 2007. I was selling laptops in Circuit City, selling cameras. It was basic sales. And I went to Apple. I started selling iPhones and MacBooks and things of that nature. And then from there to insurance products. So I was talking to a guy today, today I had a client, and he does B2B sales. He does lobbying in DC. He's selling big ticket items. He's selling, getting contracts for 3.5 mil, $20 million contracts, bills being passed. But he started off in door-to-door sales at Comcast. He's probably in his early 50s, late 40s now, making $4 million a year take home. $4 million take home a year. But that didn't start overnight. The guy from Comcast cable, knocking door to door, learning skills around people skills. How do you read people? And so look at sales as a way to, one, make a lot of money long term, but learn certain skills across the way. And don't expect to make $1 million a year one. It's not going to happen. But as you increase your sales skills through experience and certain things and reading books and developing, going to conferences, life is all about sales, man. If you can sell a concept, a vision, a product, man, you can make money anywhere.
You said it right, and you touched on something that I think is so important for young salespeople, sales managers, anybody really in the industry, about patience. I think there are parallels to everything that we do. The more patient that you are and the more willing you are to learn, the better off you'll be down the line. I think that sales, and what people miss a lot of times, they give up too early, is because they're not playing the long game, right? The long game in sales is networking and training and development and learning a skill and learning a niche in that industry and really becoming expert at it. That's when you reach the next level. But, in all the things that we do, whether, you're a guy that looks like he's in shape, you probably go to the gym. There are things that we do in everyday life, like going to the gym, right? It's the same reason people quit going to the gym. They're not willing to put in the time, have the patience, they don't see the results quick enough, and so they quit or they move on to the next industry. And they never really allow themselves to pick up some momentum and go from there. So that kind of segues me into my next question for you is, what habits or daily routines do you have that you can share with the people watching or listening that help you to be successful in your industry?
Yeah, I'll recommend a book first and I'll give you some context. There's a book by author named Ryan Holiday called Discipline is Destiny. Discipline is Destiny. And what I got from the book, I always tell people from books, man, I finish 5 books a month, Audible, I read books. I take 2 concepts from a book. two concepts or two stories, one story, one concept. I'm not going to memorize every chapter of the book, right? I'm going to get one concept from a book and apply it to my life if I'm finishing 5 books a month. And for this book, he says that do the toughest things first in the morning. Do the hardest thing first. So for me, it's working out. It's hard. For me, today I woke up got to bed last night at around 12:30 a.m. I was up 4.5 hours, up 5 hours later, up at 5:45 a.m. Woke up, didn't want to wake up, alarm went off. It was tough. Crawled out of bed, got to the gym, and worked out. Crazy workout, 10 sets of 10 reps of bench press, like it's called velocity training for my trainer. It was freaking crazy. My chest is on fire. 100 pull-ups. Hard day for me. I'm walking out the gym at 7:30 a.m. knowing that most people are just waking up, just having their coffee, just on their day. I've already tackled the hardest part of my day. So now it's all from there, building momentum. It's really all downhill from there from challenges. And so for me, one of the best things about my routine, the foundation of my life really is discipline in the morning. Getting up early, tackling the day, tackling the week. I have to work out on Mondays. I have to work out Monday mornings. If I miss a workout on a Monday morning, Dave, my week's thrown in chaos. Because I'm behind the 8 ball from the beginning. And so a lot of it's not even just the physical energy you get from working out. It's psychologically saying, okay, I know that I have an edge on most people. If you're a salesperson, you're probably a little competitive. You have a sales team. You're competing for certain numbers and metrics or KPIs. And I have an edge. My competition's not working out. 1, 2, if I can do that consistently every single day, I can read the books, go to the conferences, do the role playing, pick up the scales, get the work, get to the office early, get to the lot early. And so for me, the number one thing is doing the toughest thing first in your routine. Waking up early, man. I know a lot of guys today that work out late at night, and my guys in my team say, hey, man, I'm going to work out at 10 at night, 11 at night. That's cool and all. I used to always do that when I was younger. I got kids now. As you scale in life, you get a wife and kids, man, it's hard to work out every day at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. You just can't do it anymore. You got to get up when the kids are asleep, the wife is asleep, everyone's asleep, your team's asleep, and you go get the job done. Because if I'm working out midday, my team's calling me, I'm doing certain things. Those are revenue producing hours for a salesperson. So for me, by far, man, it's a physical discipline of getting into the gym and working out. And not all guys, but many successful people I see. I met Dwayne Johnson at a conference just last week over at the Vogue conference. And Dwayne Johnson, got to be in his 50s. Guy's going at it. He was just shooting Moana, the real life live action Moana movie in Hawaii. Flew from Hawaii to Florida for a conference for a couple hours, flying back to Hawaii. Hey, what are you doing, bro? Like, he's going at it. He's going at it.
It's amazing, Chris. And let's pause right there for a second. You said so much that I want to unpack there. But, I'm with you. Like, working out in the morning is critical for me. And it's not even the physical anymore. It's more the mental. Clearing your mind, preparing your day, organizing your thoughts. I get the best ideas when I'm in the middle of a set. For me personally, but it allows me time when the world is asleep, right? At the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm walking out, like you said, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm ready to win the day. So for me, that's critical. But what about those days, Chris? What about those days where you don't feel like getting out of bed? It's cold outside. I know you're on the East Coast. You're in Maryland, right? What about those days where it's cold outside, might be raining, there's snow on the ground, you just don't feel like doing it? What do you do mentally to prepare yourself to get out there and do it when you don't feel like it?
You know what's crazy? Those are the days that matter the most. And again, it's not about the games. Like, man, there was one night I got home at 2 a.m., late night at the office. It was an end of the month closeout, and I had a gym session in the morning. And I was going to be there at 6. I'm leaving the office 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. I'm like, I'm going to get 2 hours of sleep, Dave. Crazy, right? Why go work out? I knew I had to go work out that day. Psychological. So I actually woke up, went to the gym, worked out, went home, and napped. Took a nap, man. Got some Zen. I'm not saying, I'm not the guy that says, hey, man, forget sleep, team no sleep. No, bro, you need sleep, you need rest for energy. I'm not that guy that team no sleep. But I knew how hard it would be waking up in the morning that morning and saying, okay, cool. It's psychological for me. Bro, I got 2 hours of sleep. I'm not an expert in the gym, man. That's not really good for my health, bro. I shouldn't be getting 2 hours of sleep working out. My muscle fatigue. It's not the best thing for my games. But I'm not doing it just for the games. I'm doing it because psychologically, okay, if I can do that, what else can I do in the business? Like, can I scale my business to another level? Because we're going to overcome challenges in life and sales and ups and downs. And you're going to have a challenge. You're knocking on doors, and you're calling, you're dialing for dollars, and you're talking to clients, and you're going to face adversity and challenges. Psychologically, are you mentally tough? Because at the end of the day, being mentally tough is more than half the battle when it comes to sales. It's not just about having the sales skills, it's being mentally tough. That guy who can outlast storms and ups and downs in business, like you said, long term is going to compound those skills and results. And before you know it, the job becomes so much more easier for you.
I agree. Show me how you do anything and I'll know how you do everything, right? So the way that you attack your day, especially first thing in the morning, is really going to dictate the pace of the rest of the day. And the success or, the habits that you have will determine the success that you have in everything that you do. You said a few things before. You mentioned the Vault conference. I know that you're big on networking. You rub elbows with Patrick Bet-David and the likes of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Speak a little bit to that. How has networking and building relationships played a role in your success?
Man, it's everything. It's everything, man. I'll give you a couple of different examples. Going to conferences, man. Just at that conference alone, I probably exchanged numbers with 20 plus people. I went last year. Last year, it produced revenue for me of around $80,000. That for the event alone. Just meeting people, getting connections, getting a referral here and there. We're having an event at a winery here in Maryland. I met a guy at the Vault conference. He's from Maryland. I'm from Maryland also, bro. We connected. He owns the first allegedly the first African-owned winery in America. I said, really, bro? The first one? Yeah, okay, cool. It's in Laurel, Maryland here. So we'll be there with our team doing the event. I'm giving the space for free because we had a connection there at the Vault conference. I'm leveraging for an event. I got some guys flying into town next month. So connections are always made through conferences. And for me, my business was built through networking. Jay, you kind of have an idea of what I do. Everything I do is self-generated. I don't have like a lead system. I'm not buying any leads. I don't have any people walk in. I don't have a retail store. People walk in. I gotta go find my clients. And so any given Thursday evening, Friday evening in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, we have about 25 to 30 agents out there networking, shaking hands. I did an all-white party. Went to an all-white party just about 4 or 5 months ago. Rooftop event in DC. I can count the revenue generated from shaking hands from that party. Right now at the office, we're about $150K in revenue generated from that party. Just from the party, networking and insurance sales. Just from talking to people, shaking hands. If you have a product, you have a service that you're selling, meet people, shake hands, don't go out there to sell. I read a quote before, Dave. Whoever shakes the most hands makes the most money in business.
I love that.
It's not just shaking hands, man.
That's a great quote. Networking and referral business is king, in sales. I don't care what you sell, what industry you're in. The more people that know what you do, the more people that think of you highly, the more people that can look into your eyes and see the passion that you have, and the more value that you can bring those people, the more money you're going to make, the more sales you're going to have, at least the more opportunities that you'll have. So I know that is big in the business that you're in, and you've modeled that in your company. And it is definitely something that is admirable. I look at it from afar. I'm like, wow, this guy's killing it. Mostly, probably 100. You said it yourself. 100% referral business, networking business, right? You're not buying any leads. You're not doing any of that stuff. Amazing.
No, never.
Amazing. Chris, let me ask you this: for that salesperson out there who's like, man, that sounds great. I would love to do that. I don't know how to do that. Let's say he doesn't have the network that you have. You're starting over from scratch. What would you do day one to build a circle of clients or clientele?
I've been there before, man. So, we see our success now. I wasn't always successful in entrepreneurship, man. There was one year I made $9,000 in sales. Like, take home, $9,000. I had a wife. At the time, I had one daughter. I have 3 kids now. We're struggling financially, man. I'm trying to make it work. I'm banging my head on the wall. But I'll tell you what, most recently for me, moving from California to Maryland, I got to Maryland in 2019. I had couple of guys on my team who were brokers, and I had to build a team again. My own time team was in California. I built my business in California for years. Man, Dave, for me, this is not for anybody, but I wanted to pioneer, take over my territory, so I got to work. I envisioned myself, this is how I envisioned myself. I'm being deployed to war. My wife and kids stayed at home in California for about 6 months. I came here for 6 months prior to them moving out here. I was living in a friend's house in the basement in the Eastern Shore. And I'm out every night. I'm in DC shaking hands. Every night. I'm at networking events around 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. That from there we're going into lounges, even and sometimes I'm not a big fan of clubs for networking because it's loud and dancing, but nice, sophisticated lounges. And guess what, Dave? People who need our product are out there. I'm just being, I'm shaking hands. Shaking hands, I'm being friendly and welcoming, and I'm shaking hands, I'm giving people an opportunity. But I'm shaking hands every night. I'm at home every night, midnight, 1 a.m., up 7 o'clock, back to the office, just taking over a territory, putting the work in. And you know, at times you're doubting yourself. I recall my son's 3rd birthday. This is just me. This is my journey, man. I'm not saying everyone should do this. He's in California. I'm FaceTiming him for his birthday. And I'm like, man, I'm in Maryland here, bro. Is it worth it? Missing my son's birthday. I'm out there in person. I'm questioning, am I a good father? What am I doing here? Now, looking back, hindsight, my son's 8 years old now. Got the best teachers, private school, tutors, one-on-one boxing coach. The kid's a freaking genius. The kid's like a little Mayweather right now. He's 8 years old, man. He wants to try and knock me out. I said, bro, you're still 8. Dad can bystand you, but you can't give me. But he's learning how, he's boxing. He's doing his thing, and it was all worth it. And so if you're brand new to the industry or whatever you're doing, you got to put the work in. Now, I was working 70-hour weeks, 60-hour weeks. But, man, in perspective, Dave, we're in America, man. Free enterprise, capitalism. I got buddies in my team that served in Afghanistan. 18-month tours being shot at daily. Best friend head blown off for hazardous pay, $45,000 a year. So do I really have it that bad in sales? If I'm getting no's and rejection, I'm not getting my head blown off, bro. And so I got perspective on me. I'm blessed to be here in America where I can work hard, put the grind in. I'm not dodging bullets, depending on where you live, of course. Some people are dodging bullets. And I can do it well for myself.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like we're out there, right? Dodging bullets and taking on incoming. But in the grand scheme of things, you're right. We're lucky. We're blessed. We're lucky to do what we do. We talk to people every day. That's really what our job is talking to people and bringing solutions to whatever the problem is that we're trying to solve for. Chris, you talked about a few things there, what you did, what your personal journey was, the sacrifices that you made in your personal life, and literally uprooting a business that you had built in California and moving it across the country and starting once again on the East Coast. And that tells me when I hear that you're a top performer, but you decided some things were important for you to separate yourself from the average producer out there. What would you tell that person out there who's maybe hit a ceiling, maybe feels stalled, maybe feels frustrated? What could they do to separate themselves from being average and take themselves to the next level of being a top performer?
Things. When it comes to life, man, capitalism is all about competition. We're all competing with somebody else at the end of the day. And I believe in abundance. No man can take what God has for me from me. What's mine is mine, man. So I'm gonna work. There's plenty of people out there. I have an abundance mindset. There's no scarcity of money in the world or clients in the world. It's unlimited there. But I have to stand out amongst others. One thing is personal development, is outgrowing your competition. These are things we can all control. I can go out there and read more books to you, take on more experiences. There's a wise man named King Solomon, right, from a biblical perspective. He says that there's nothing new under the sun, which means that wisdom has already been here. There's no new concept that we don't know about leadership. It's been around. So somebody in the book wrote about a concept you need, right? I read this book last month, J.D. Rockefeller, right? It says 38 letters to his son. This is Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest men that ever lived. He was a billionaire in the 1900s. He wrote 38 letters to his son before he passed away around wisdom, knowledge. So I read this book, and I'm telling stories to my team about these pigs and a hunter, and they're blown away by this story, right? One of my guys reads the books. He says, Chris, that story about the pig and the hunter, that wasn't you, that was Rockefeller. I said, yeah, I got it from a book, bro, but you perceived it as my wisdom. Like, yeah, man, it was so great. I said, bro, that's what I do. I'm not special. I read things, I acquire them, I acquire wisdom and knowledge, and I put it back into the world. I bring value to others. So one, go out develop everyone in your freaking industry, man. Go read 3, 4, 5 books a month. Read books on everything, on marriage. If you're dealing with couples, at your organization, right? You got guys and gals who are married. Give them wisdom on marriage. Read books on politics, books on money, books on sales, books on raising sons, raising daughters. I want to be a well-rounded man overall. The second thing is just outwork your competition. You choose to outwork people, man. Dave, I was born and raised in America. So were my mom and dad. So were my grandparents. My great-grandfather came from Haiti in 1899. And so the last 3 generations were born and raised in America. Dave, I see people come here first generation from third world countries and build business and build wealth in one generation. Why? They're usually outworking us, man. It's simple as that. They come to America, they value the gratitude of free enterprise and capitalism and say, if I can come here and outwork, we all know somebody that's not wasn't born in America, that's killing it in business. You wonder, like, dude, where are you from? Okay, the DR? Okay, where are you from? Oh, Salvador? Got it. Where are you from? Nigeria? Interesting. You're a millionaire in America? I was born and raised here. I speak perfectly good English and I can't win? What's going on here? That's a problem. They're just outworking me because they see the value in what we offer here in the country of free enterprise and capitalism. So gotta outwork. And I think at the end of the day, a heart posture is really important. So I'm talking about your heart posture. Like, you gotta ask yourself, why am I doing this? If I'm selling medical products, I'm selling cars, I'm selling insurance, like, man, do I really want to help people get into a car today? Like, what's the value of this car for this client, right? Because if I have a great heart posture of what I'm doing, people are going to be drawn to me at the end of the day. I'm going to separate from other people because I have a true vision and conviction for what I do. So I sell life insurance, Dave, but it's far beyond life insurance for me, man. This is a passion for me, waking up every single day, serving people in my community, giving them information. Whatever product you're selling, you got to sell yourself on why that product is the best thing for that client. And your conviction alone will help you, man, surpass and stand above others in your field for sure.
Killing it, Chris. I think that speaks to a lot of the problems that a lot of our sales teams have nationwide. Is a lot of people do it for the money. Obviously, we're all doing it for some economic gain, right? But beyond that, Grant Cardone says, I love the quote that he says, people want to buy, but they don't want to feel sold. And I think you're speaking to that. I think people see through the pitch, and when you believe in what you're doing and you genuinely want to help people and solve a pain point for people, in your case it's life insurance, right? And building wealth, generational wealth. I think people can see it in your eyes, they can hear it in your pitch, they can hear it in your passion. I tell my team all the time, the first person every morning that you have to close is yourself on what you're doing, what you're selling, how you're feeling. Choose your attitude, and then let's win the day. And I think that's important, and something that is missing in a lot of our sales pros out there is, where do I stand here? Am I here for the paycheck? And yes, we're here for the paycheck. But beyond that, do I believe in what I'm doing? Do I really want to help people? So important. Thank you for saying that. Now, that's going to help me out on this next question, because I think this is important. There's a lot of people out there who are worried, right? Beyond the economy and what we see, beyond the political climate and what we see, technology. Technology, I feel like, scares the hell out of salespeople today. AI, you tell people, AI is coming, and they feel like, the robots are coming to take my job. Where do you see sales evolving in the next 5-10 years, especially with this rise in digital tools and automation and things like that? Where do you see the sales teams kind of gravitating towards, and how can a salesperson that we know today win in that climate?
Crazy you say that, Dave. So I'm leveraging a new tool in my business. I'm leveraging AI. And we had a meeting with my staff on Monday, and we were testing out a new AI bot with the most updated version of ChatGPT, I think 4.0A, the most human-like ChatGPT today. It's crazy. And David scared me. So we're in my office, and it's an outbound phone call going out to one of my prospects. And it's an AI bot that's doing it for me. And we download knowledge on my business, my website, insurance, into the AI bot's like memory bank. It knows anything on that website. It knows it. Anything I type in, and bro, you can choose 20 different AI bots: a female, a male, in their 40s, 20s, Latino, whatever that, bro. It's crazy, right? So we pick one. It's talking to the client. I'm sitting there. At first, I'm kind of scared. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. She sounds human. And she's overcoming objections. And it's freaking me out, amazing. Right? And then as I'm sitting with my staff, I'm deploying it not mainly for sales, but to be more efficient. And I think whoever gets behind AI, you got to get behind AI. AI can never replace this. This can't happen with AI. It's human interaction, it's conversation. AI can't replace the human touch and me meeting with you kneecap to kneecap in person, talking about a product. It can't replace me selling you life insurance and explaining the need for life insurance and the connection between insurance and family and the husband and wife and 2 kids and covering liabilities and the mortgage. It can't replace kneecap to kneecap sales. But what it can do is increase efficiency. I told my team, if we don't get behind AI, I can generate 50 leads from social media from my image, from a reel I shoot or whatever video, right? And an AI bot can call all 50 leads at one time. I can only dial one time, bro. I can't do simultaneously 50 phone calls made in one strike. Enough, Dave, to get them in front of me. AI can't close them. AI won't close them. It's going to take the human nature, understanding, disrupt, asking questions, qualifying questions, certain things like, and that takes me because a consultative approach to solving a problem. AI can definitely increase efficiencies. And so for me, I'm teaching my staff how to run AI. So I'm not trying to lay off people. I told them I'm not trying to lay anybody off here, but if we can learn how to maximize AI. Dave, I got a system now where if a client gets a policy from me, automatically, once it's issued, a handwritten letter goes out to them. Handwritten from a robot, not me, a robot. but it's a robot that it has a blue ink and like it smears a little bit. So you're like, oh, Dave wrote me a handwritten letter. No. It was a robot that did it for him. But hey, that saves me time. Why go write 50 letters a month, handwritten, where I can have a robot do it for me? And so if you get behind AI, you can separate your industry. You have to find ways to innovate. And one last thing, too, one of my clients owns a bar in Baltimore. He took a picture of the bar, Dave, a picture of it, and says, hey, please maximize my drink mix for females between age 25 and 45 and maximize profits. From a picture of a bar, the drink's there. It calculates what drinks he can sell in that demographic and who will like it and how what he'll make in profits.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think AI is definitely going to free you up as a sales professional. The tedious tasks that you spend an hour, 2, 3 hours doing every single day, it can automate those things and make you a lot more efficient. But it's not going to teach you how to close deals. It's not going to teach you the power of influence. It's not going to teach you any of those things that require a certain skill set in your industry. So I think to your point, this is the time to double down on training. This is the time to double down on your skill sets and development of your team. What strategies do you use to develop your team's skills and capabilities? I know insurance is always evolving. There's so many moving parts when it comes to insurance, from regulation to different offers and companies coming in and out. How do you develop your team? How do you keep them sharp?
Man, training's a big part of what I do. I tell you, you have to attract, recruit, and retain and train your team, right? I'm about, my business is about distribution and teaching how many guys can I recruit and train within a month, a quarter to make money and be successful. And so my routine weekly, I'm training every day. I believe, I was told once as a new agent in insurance space, with field trainings, where it's all about field training, like actual live interaction, watching with a live client, which I believe in 100%. But I also believe in classroom training. I believe in role playing, PDR, practice, drill, rehearse, all right, and getting things done and overcoming objections. In my organization, my office alone, we do sales training 5 times a week. I have to. I had a training last night on Zoom at 9 p.m. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. in my organization, we hop on a call and we go over a client situation that you may be going through right now, and I'll help you process through how to pitch, present, and see value in this annuity, this insurance product. For my newest guys only my newest guys. I do a sales training every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. in my office here. For only the newer guys in my team that have been here for less than 6 months. Because the guys who are killing it, making $400K a year, $250,000, they're doing okay, right? They know some sales skills. But these newer guys are coming into the industry. It's critical that I teach them how to be successful. And so here's the thing about it. Sales can become boring for the wrong person. Patrick David he has a YouTube channel called Valuetainment. A video came out this week and it says it's about doing the same thing over and over and over again, not being bored with the process. Why? Because it's the same pitch, the same objection, but a new person. So they're excited about the new person, about helping people. It's a new person. It's the same pitch, same concept. I can do my presentation, Dave, in my sleep. I can literally be falling asleep and do my sales presentation. And because I know it's my pitch, it's my script. But I'm excited about the new client hearing it, the new agent, the new sales rep learning it, and what's possible for him in long term in life. And so I'm okay with doing the same thing for a long period of time and creating consistency with it and training others to do it long term to build what I need in distribution.
We keep circling back to that, right? But the training and the consistency, it is boring. I go back to the gym And, I love the gym. I go to the gym literally every single day. And I tell my wife this all the time. Like, she's like, oh, try this new class, or try this thing, or try that thing. And there's always a new fad. If you're on Instagram, you see the new trainers doing the new thing. And I'm like, look, and Patrick Bet-David, I know used to work out back in the day. The guy was ripped. I'm sure he still does.
Yeah.
But when he was younger, the guy was huge. If you
Yeah.
ask
Yep.
guys like that, how'd you do it? It's very routine, monotonous, boring workouts done the same way for a long period of time. And I feel like training and sales is very much the same thing. It's monotonous. It's the same pitch. It's the same obstacles that you're overcoming, the same rebuttals that you're overcoming. And over time, it becomes the same. So the faces change, but everything else remains the same. And if you can get good at those things, you're going to have success. I think the problem is, I think there's two problems, major issues right now in sales, and I would like you to speak on them, right? How do you overcome, if you're a new or newish sales pro, right, on your team? I'm sure you got a bunch of them. How do you overcome the mindset of not feeling motivated when they're not making money, right? They've gone through a few days, they haven't sold anything, there's nobody in the pipeline, things just, they aren't working for them. How do you keep that person motivated to stick with it and keep moving along?
Different ways, man. Different ways. One, I'll take two approaches. One is the leadership aspect of what I do, right? If I'm attracting you, okay, cool. If you're with me, Dave, for 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, am I giving you am I setting an example of what I'm doing? Am I winning? So this is really for the sales leaders and the managers first, right? I'm a sales leader, I'm a manager. Am I showing you, hey, if you stay consistent, this is your future life? I'm a six-figure earner. I'm making multiple six figures a year. Maybe you're a seven-figure earner in business and sales. Like, because if I'm watching you, Dave, and you're successful, you're living the life I want to live, I'm gonna stick around a little longer because I know, okay, this is what's next for me. We do it in college all the time. Hey, come into college, go in debt for college for 4 years. For 4 years, get a degree for the hope to be able to maybe possibly make 85K a year. Because we know that it works. It's a path people have taken. So in my environment, one, be able to sell the vision on what's next if you stick it out. I'm a walking, talking, breathing example of it. I made $9,000 in 2015, entire year in sales, in insurance sales. I was struggling financially, up to my neck in debt, car getting repo, horrible. So if I can make it through that storm and consistently show my income, and my guys can see my income increase every year, increase. They're like, man, I'm like, hey, follow my path. This is where we're going. So that's one way a sales leader, sales manager can set the example by saying, hey, follow my lead, do as I do, not what I say. If you follow my actions, you'll have this in life, long term. For the sales rep, it's going in with the end in mind, man. If you're coming into sales to make a quick buck and get in, get out, this is the wrong place for you. If you're coming in to trade time for dollars, wrong place for you. That's a job, W-2. If you're like, if that guy's like, man, I just want to make I want a guaranteed check every 2 weeks. This is the wrong place for you, bro. Guess what? You can go get a guaranteed check. 1,000 a week, 2,000 a week, based on the skill set, what you're doing. But guess what? If you work harder, can you ever get above that? Can you make more? Probably not. You're at set freaking cap on income. Bro, I don't want a cap on income, man. So I'd rather increase my scales over the course of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. So that there's no cap on what I can make for my family. Now it's on me now. I got to work. I got to improve. I get better. Listen to the coaching, the training of my sales leader, my manager. But if I continue to be consistent, there's no cap on what I can make. And what's great, Dave, what's great about sales is that sales doesn't require a degree. Dave, I'm a college dropout. I didn't finish school. I got guys that I come across, man. A client today had an MBA, man. A great MBA, bro. That's good for you, man. I don't have an MBA, bro. I just have a high school diploma, brother. But I'm doing pretty well financially because I chose sales as an industry to get better at and improve at, and there's no cap on what I can make for myself long term. And so, Dave, going back to what you said earlier, they got to get to a point to where they come into sales with the end in mind, not the beginning in mind. It's not a quick makeup. It's not a quick buck you're gonna make. And I see guys come in and want to make a quick dollar. It's like, bro, you went to school for 4 years, got a college degree. What'd you make? Nothing. Give me freaking 12, 24 months with you, man. You'll be killing guys with MBAs.
Look, you're touching on something I want to touch on, and we're wrapping up here. I want to spend the last few minutes talking to the person who is kind of wavering. They want to get into sales. They know that the money's there. There's a lot of examples of people who have done it, people who against all odds, against all statistics, have made it, the American dream, all of those things. They want it, but they don't know how to do it. Speak to that person for a few seconds that went to high school, maybe just recently graduated, college isn't for them. What is the path forward for them? Is there a path forward to them? What should they be doing right now to prepare themselves to get into sales? What could you, two-pronged question, talk to that person, what could they be doing to prepare themselves? And also, if you could talk to yourself back when you were that age, what would you tell yourself knowing the things that you know today?
Absolutely. You got to pick up books. This man right here worked as an accountant, making no money for years before he became J.D. Rockefeller. It didn't happen overnight for him. It was ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, right? You mentioned Grant Cardone earlier. Grant Cardone, one of his books, Grant Cardone's early career started off kind of shaky. It wasn't successful overnight. There's so many examples of successful people that struggled for a year or two, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So Dave, in the beginning of me struggling, when I was struggling, I read books, I read autobiographies on people who were successful. And I'm like, okay, cool. It gave me hope. I'm like, wait, this guy sucked for 4 years. He felt bankruptcy at that age? Whoa, he was living on the streets? Okay. And I'm reading these books, right, Dave? I'm like, I'm finding a common denominator. Most successful entrepreneurs struggled for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path. And not that I want to struggle, like I'm on the freaking right path. Most people didn't make it overnight. Steve Jobs wasn't rich overnight. Steve Jobs was freaking living in a one-bedroom apartment, struggling for years with the Apple One. And then Apple One came out, it was okay. Apple Two took off. Like, it wasn't overnight success. It's a grind for these things, right? If you watch movies, BlackBerry Rim, right? They struggled in the beginning. They struggled, took off, and it ended pretty badly for them, but they didn't innovate, right? And so for me, books, again, are everything for me because, like, okay, it's giving me history of what's happened for other people. Okay, I know if I continue to stay on this path, rarely does anyone come into an industry in sales in first year, blow it up, never look back, boom, wealthy. Bro, that's not how it freaking works. Nothing works that way in life. Like you say, the gym, like, it takes time to build muscle, to build biceps, to build pecs, to build your quads. It takes time. And so if you know the path you're heading on may have some ups and downs in the beginning, but you know where it's headed, it gives you the conviction to keep sticking and going when hard times are hard. And then if I was to talk to the old me, the young me, I would just tell him, man, like, brother, Chris, man, I had some tough times, man. Car getting repoed, brother, like borderline depression, Dave, 2015. Like, I had my wife and my daughter, and my wife, we had to borrow money from my wife's dad, my in-laws, $500, bro. I had to borrow $500. I couldn't pay the bills. And I see my father-in-law at a barbecue. He corners me. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to avoid the guy, man, because I don't have the money. I owe him $500. He tells me, he's like, man, I'm worried about your ability to take care of my daughter and granddaughter. As a man, it hits you like, bro, I'm freaking here grinding, man, in business, man. I'll have a much bigger vision for my family. I can go get a job, W-2, and make $75K a year and just live to me, a life of mediocrity. I was called for more. And it hurt. You're sitting there, you're like, all right, I'm going to take that. He's right. Right now, it's where I'm at financially. So if I can talk to the old Chris, the young Chris, I would just say, hey, brother, it's all worth it, man. It's all freaking worth it, man. The late nights are worth it, brother. Your kids are young. I had kids young in my business and sales, man. So for the young guys out there, maybe different if you're older, you're getting started in sales in your 40s, 50s. For the young guys out there in their 20s, mid-20s, early 30s, young families, man, I worked, built my business, man, for my family. Now me and my son, we're going to a Bengals game, Ravens game. And Dave, I like experiences, Dave, so I'm a little different. We're Ravens fans, right? We're 25 minutes from the stadium. And it may sound crazy. We're going to the Cincinnati Bengals stadium for their game. Ravens at Bengals. So we're flying to Cincinnati to see a Ravens game within 20 minutes. But why would you do that? I want the freaking experience for my son. Him and his dad hop on a flight, me and him going to the game, going to the hotel, you're invited to eat, go downtown to Cincinnati. I want the experience. And so I'll tell the young Chris, man, bro, you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. Your kids will have amazing experiences. Quality time is not sitting on the couch watching cartoons with your son, to my opinion. That's not quality time. Quality time is playing board games on a Sunday, cash flow quadrant. My kids are playing cash flow for kids. It's crazy, Dave. My kids are like, they're in the house having talks. No, I have more assets than you. I'm gonna have more assets, and I'm gonna have that's like what 8-year-old says I'm gonna have more assets than you and more businesses and stocks. Like that's the way he's thinking now because his dad is involved in his life because his dad sacrificed in earlier years. If you do it right, you don't quit. You find good coaching, good leadership, a great product, and more important, like you said, Dave, your heart is in it. This shirt says "Serve to Earn." I serve to earn. I couldn't serve. I couldn't serve first, man. But my compensation is the direct reflection on my ability to serve others. And so, if you can find a product that you're saying, man, I'm going to serve people, be genuine, solve problems. There's a scarcity of real, genuine people in the world. It's crazy. So if you're real, you're genuine, you're offering a product or service, you care about people. This is a matter of time between the right people buying into your vision. And I think in sales, you have to graduate from a great salesperson to a great sales leader to a great business owner to a CEO. And in my journey, I went from salesperson to sales leader. I'm now a business owner. I'm cracking the code on how do I go from business owner to great CEO.
Fantastic, Chris. I think, if you're listening out there, Chris just wrapped that up in a beautiful bow. Dream big, because anything is possible. We live in the greatest country in the world where literally anything is possible. You can create the life that you want to create. Commit yourself, be disciplined in what you do, work your butt off, learn, read, really, really double down on the learning because success leaves clues. You said it right, Chris. All of these books that we reading about how people did it, you will find that more of them have lost than won, but in the end, they make it through. So social media will make you believe that you can be an overnight success. It just isn't true. So commit yourself, work hard, develop yourself and your mind, and anything is possible. Chris, it has been fantastic to spend some time with you. I really, really appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man. Thank you for helping our viewers to win their days and to level up their sales careers. How can they find you? How can they connect with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Christopher Hart. I'm on X, Twitter, at Sold Out Servant, and on IG also at Sold Out Servant. I'm just SOLD OUTSERVANT, Sold Out Servant.
I'll have that in the display for all of our viewers so that they can find you, connect with you, follow him. His content is fantastic. If you get the luxury and the luck to work for him, go for it. The guy is a born leader, and he's successful out here, building careers and building generational wealth out there. Chris, again, thank you so much for joining us and joining all of our viewers. We appreciate you. And everyone out there, we hope you have a great day. Win this day. Take some of these pearls of wisdom that Chris has given you and go out and win.